أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن الأعراب من يتخذ ما ينفق مغرما ويتربص بكم الدوائر عليهم دائرة السوء والله سميع عليم. In the previous verse, we had discussed that amongst the munafiqeen, there is one category of people that are the villagers, they are those that are the Bedouins. And these Bedouins, they are more staunch in their kufr, in their hypocrisy, etc. And the limits of Allah Ta'ala, the laws of Sharia, they don't know this as well. Now further Allah Ta'ala mentions another category of the munafiqeen or Bedouins, وَمِنَ الْأَعْرَابِ مَنْ يَتَّخِذُ مَا يُنْفِقُ مَغْرَمًا وَيَتَرَبَّصُ بِكُمُ الدَّوَائِرِ. That from amongst these villages, from amongst these Bedouin, are those people who consider whatever they spend. Meaning when they spend in jihad, when they spend in the path of Allah, whatever they spend, they consider maghrama as a tax. وَيَتَرَبَّصُ بِكُمُ الدَّوَائِرِ. And they wait for some ill fortune, fate, for some calamity to befall you. Whenever they spend, it is very, very difficult for these Bedouins, for these villages to spend. And when they spend it, then they regard it as a tax as well. Some say it refers to Banu Ghatfan and the Banu Asad. That when it came to discharging their zakat, then it was a great burden for them to discharge their zakat. And further they would consider it as a tax, that this is not an ibadat of Allah Ta'ala, that this is a tax. And another quality that they had, that they would wait and they would say that it might, that some calamity must come upon the mu'mineen and the believers. They would say that it could happen that the mushrikeen of Makkah, they get the upper hand over the mu'mineen. So therefore we should be very, very careful in these matters. So Allah Ta'ala says, alayhim da'iratu saw. May some ill fortune befall them. Wallahu sami'un alim. Allah Ta'ala is listening to all their speech. Allah said Allah is listening to all their speech, and Allah is alim. Allah knows what goes through their hearts as well. Then Allah Ta'ala makes mention of a third category. Allah Ta'ala says, وَمِنَ الْأَعْرَابِ مَنْ يُؤْمِنُ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. That from amongst the villagers, from amongst the Bedouins are those who believe in Allah Ta'ala and the last day. They believe in Allah, they believe in the day of Qiyamah. وَيَتَّخِذُ مَا يُنْفِقُ قُرُبَاتٍ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ وَصَلَوَاتِ الرَّسُولِ. And they consider whatever they spend in the path of Allah Ta'ala as a means of gaining closeness to Allah Ta'ala. وَصَلَوَاتِ الرَّسُولِ. And being included in the salawat, the du'as of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. There were certain tribes amongst the Arabs that whatever they used to spend, like the Ghifar tribe or the Muzayna tribe, approximately 3 or 4 tribes, that whenever they spend in the path of Allah Ta'ala, they would do it so that they gain the closeness of Allah. And whenever they spent in the path of Allah Ta'ala, then Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would make dua for such people. So they wanted to be included in the duas of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so they would spend freely. Allah Ta'ala says, Ala innaha qurbatul lahum. That listen, verily this is a means of gaining closeness for them. They are spending with the niyat that they want Allah to be happy. They want to gain the closeness of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allah Ta'ala will give them that. سَيُدْخِلُهُمُ اللَّهُ فِي رَحْمَتِهِ. Soon Allah Ta'ala will enter these people into His rahmat and His mercy. إِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Verily Allah Ta'ala is most forgiving and Allah Ta'ala is most merciful. Further Allah Ta'ala says, وَالسَّابِقُونَ الْأَوَّلُونَ مِنَ الْمُهَاجِرِينَ وَالْأَنصَارِ وَالَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوهُمْ بِإِحْسَانٍ رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه وأعد لهم جنات تجري تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا ذلك الفوز العظيم. That Allah Ta'ala is pleased with the first people who led the way. Now who are the first people amongst the Sahaba that led the way? So there is difference of opinion in this particular matter. Hazrat Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, one of his most senior students was Hazrat Mujahid rahmatullah alayh. So Hazrat Mujahid rahmatullah alayh, when he doesn't present his view in any particular matter, then the next student of Hazrat Abdullah bin Abbas radiallahu ta'ala was Hazrat Sa'id bin Musayyab rahmatullah alayh. He was a tabi'i. So the view of Sa'id ibn Musayyab rahmatullah alayh is taken. So as Sa'id ibn Musayyab rahmatullah alayhi says that the first that led the way, it refers to those Sahaba that performed salah behind Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, facing towards Baytul Muqaddas. We know for 16 to 17 months they performed salah towards Baytul Muqaddas, and later on they changed their direction towards Kaaba Sharif. So those Sahaba that face in both directions, they face towards Baytul Muqaddas also, and they face towards Kaaba Sharif. This is referred to as Sabiqun al-Awwalun. Hazrat Atta bin Abi Rabah rahimahullah, he mentions that who are these people that are the Sabiqun al-Awwalun, those people that accepted Islam before the battle of Badr, and they participated in the battle of Badr. Now if you take both these views, that both these events took place in the second year of Hijri. In the second year of Hijri, the battle of Badr also took place. And facing towards Baytul Muqaddas, and then from there turning towards Kaaba Sharif, this also happened in the second year of Hijri. So there is no contradiction. So Allah Ta'ala is pleased with the first people, as-sabiqun, who led the way, min al-muhajirin wal ansar, from the muhajirin and the ansar, وَالَّذِينَ اتَّبَعُوهُمْ بِإِحْسَانٍ, and those that followed these Sahaba with sincerity and with ikhlas, and they are pleased with Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Allah is pleased with them and they are pleased with Allah. وَأَعَدَّ لَهُمْ جَنَّاتٍ تَجْرِي تَحْتَهَا الْأَنْهَارُ خَالِدِينَ فِيهَا أَبَدًا, and Allah has prepared for them gardens which rivers flow beneath it, in which they will be forever and forever. ذَلِكَ الْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ, that is the great success. From here the ulama mentioned that Allah is pleased with these Sahaba, they are pleased with Allah. So if any person has hatred for Sahaba, any person in his heart has hatred for Sahaba, Allah Ta'ala save us, that person, he could lose his iman. Nabi Kareem Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned in one narration, don't speak ill of my Sahaba. That the little amal that they do, that is far superior to the amal that you do, even if you do it in huge quantity. They little is much more superior in the court of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. It is mentioned in regards to mushajarat Sahaba, where there is difference of opinion amongst the Sahaba. They had their battles, they had their differences. So Nabi alayhi salatu wasallam advised here also that on one side was Ali radiallahu ta'ala, was a great Sahabi. He was from amongst the Khulafa Rashideen. But Hazrat Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala was also a Sahabi of Nabi alayhi salam. So don't speak good of one Sahabi and run down another Sahabi of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. We'll continue from here inshallah.